Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the life path forecast for June 2023. The life path forecasts are different from the personal month forecast, so make sure that you check the calculations to make sure you've got the right ones before you listen. Now, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where I'll take a deeper dive into your own personal numerology, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. I'd love to work with you. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at each individual life path number for June 2023. Life path number 5. So I pulled an animal spirit message for you all, and you got caterpillar energy. And what's interesting about this is, and this also I can kind of see reflected in your numerology for June, which I'm going to talk about because you are working with 9 energy for June. But you've got caterpillar energy coming through for the month of June. And so what this sort of immediately brought into my mind was this feeling of like, knowing that change is coming, knowing that there's some kind of shift coming, but you're not sure what it is yet. You can't put your finger on it. And so it creates some kind of like fear of the unknown or feeling of, or fear of lack or fear of loss. It could also create sort of like this scarcity consciousness, because I'm really getting this idea of like the caterpillar before it goes into the metamorphosis, before it becomes the butterfly. And again, who knows what the actual caterpillar is thinking before it goes into that process. It probably is just following instinct and it's all great and hunky-dory. But for humans, we have a mind, and when we can feel something, we're on the precipice of some big change, or we can see things sort of falling away or closing out, creating space for something new. Even though it can be exciting about the new things to come, it can also create so many different irrational fears, right? Including like imposter syndrome, or again, fear of loss, or fear of scarcity, anything of those things, right? So, or fear of material success, right? Fear of good things happening, especially if we've been sort of in survival mode. So anyway, my point is, caterpillar energy coming through is basically just saying you're on the precipice of some major transformation that is going to bring beauty to your life. But that process can be a little daunting, can feel a little transformative, can feel, can bring about the insecurities, right? Can bring up the irrational fears. And especially of the unknown. So it's almost like you can feel change and transformation coming, or some big shift coming, but you don't know what it's going to look like. And so that creates the irrational fear, right? Of the unknown. And so sometimes it's easier to sort of cling to the way that things have been, even if they're not working. But in nature, with the caterpillar turning into the butterfly, that's just not possible, right? Like that has to happen. That is a phase, right? That they have to go through. So for you all, I just get this feeling like, and you're 5s, you're used to change, right? You're adaptable. You are used to sort of working through a crisis and coming out with some kind of solution. So, not really worried about it, but just know that if those feelings are surfacing for you, where it's like you feel like there's a shift coming, you feel like you're on the precipice of some major change, and it's creating those irrational fears for you, just know that you're the caterpillar right now, and you're about to go through this metamorphosis, but you're going to come out with wings, and you're going to fly, and you're going to be beautiful. And so, what's interesting about this is the month of June, you're also working with 9 energy. So a lot of times when we see 9 in a cycle, especially in a short cycle, this can bring things to fruition, to closure, completion. Things can fall away now. It can also feel a little bit isolating, because it can be this energy where relationships that are no longer serving us fall away, close out, are disrupted in some way. And so again, it can feel a little bit isolating when we're in between that, or when we're going through that metamorphosis, right? When people are falling away that are no longer aligned with our vibration, or that contract has ended for whatever reason. And we're in between of the new group coming in, right? The new contracts coming in. And so again, it's this feeling of like unknown and like releasing what's no longer working, but having a little bit of a rational fear around what could come, right? But there's also that level of excitement and, just a new experience, right? A new adventure. And so with 9 energy, this is the time to let things come to you, to sort of rest, to, just sort of not start anything new. You've already created your web. You're allowing the nutrients to come to you now. You've done the work. You've put in the effort. You're turning it over to the universe to do its part. But sometimes that means there will be things that fall away, right? That are being completed. So, let's say that you've been working on a really big project and you've been putting your heart and soul into it and it's been taking up your time, but you've really enjoyed it. And now it's coming to an end. There can be some sadness with that, right? There can be some letting go and releasing of that. And that can bring some sadness and a little bit of grief because it's something that you've enjoyed doing. It's, you've probably worked with some wonderful people, et cetera, right? And so now it's like that's coming to an end. And so it's releasing that and then creating the space or resting for a moment and then creating the space for something new to come in. So it's like this transition, right? There's this transitional period that you may be moving through at this point. And I would say this is not the month to make big start or do big new things or take big new initiatives or be impulsive, right? This would be the time to, again, let things come to you, let opportunities present themselves. Then you decide what you want to do with it, right? This is a great month for planning, for planting the seeds, for letting things germinate. Again, for sort of sinking into receptivity. So you may find that people want to do things for you this month, or again, just sort of show up to assist. This is not a month to fight that. This would be a month to be like, sure, let's work together. Let's see what can you do for me type thing. Humans really struggle with receptivity a lot of times. And so this is a great month to practice that, while also moving through any grief or fear of loss or irrational fears that surface for you as you release and then allow, right? Release and allow and see what comes in. Because next month you're going to be in a 1 cycle. And then that is going to be when you would take the initiative, do the big new starts. Under a 9 cycle, you can see, which you're in this month. In a 9 cycle, this can be a great month for inspirations, new ideas, big dreams. And so pay attention to those insights, those inspirations that come in for you at this time and start planning, start writing it down, thinking about it, mulling it over. Because next month, you're probably going to feel that fire to get started on it, to do something with it, to say yes, to be a little bit more impulsive. But this month is just more about you going into that cocooning phase, right? To sort of move through that transition and not fight it, right? That would be like if the caterpillar was going to fight becoming a butterfly or a moth, right? It's just not natural, right? So I do kind of see this 5s as a month for some transitions, for some change, but again, sort of things falling away and new things coming in. And just if you feel a little isolated, reach out for some support. That's okay too, right? You don't have to, be this island as you sort of move through it. Just whatever feels comfortable for you. But yeah, just if whatever's trying to be released at this point, that's non-negotiable, that the universe is like, nope, this time is up, it's moving on. Don't try to hold on to that too tightly. Just kind of acknowledge it, give thanks for it, and allow it to be released, because can almost guarantee that what's going to come in is helping you to sort of level up to the next gear, right? So I hope it is a beautiful month for you all 5s. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.